Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn and Weird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Welcome.
It's been nonstop events at work. This big world event happened, where the Pope died.
Yeah.
That kind of stirs things up at work. And so the graduation's coming up and Notre Dame Day is coming up. So we're just busy.
When does the university system take off for summer? They do summer breaks, right? They're eventually
our graduation is May 15th.
Right.
And then we have some high school graduations after that we're doing in our venues. And then usually it's like the second week of June.
Right.
And then it kind of slows down for you a little bit.
And then it slows down until the third week of August.
Right. Do they give you a list of all the stuff that you couldn't get to, before the break? And then
my boss has a list. It's like my arm's length of here's what we want to accomplish this summer that we didn't do last summer or the summer before that or the summer before that. So let's get to it.
That is
as an IT manager, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have to? How do you prioritize, Justin? Like when you get like work orders and you get trouble tickets or whatever at the park, how do you prioritize? Okay, we're going to get to this one today. I mean, it works differently, right?
I mean, it depends on what kind of industry you're in. I mean, obviously Shawn is in the education industry. I'm in the entertainment industry, working at a water park and everything. So I would say you prioritize money loss as the top priority. So if you've got a point of sale that's down, that's preventing you from making money, that is the number one priority, is get that machine back online so you can make money.
Right.
But then, when it comes to like the off season, it's kind of more of like the bigger projects, and I prioritize the bigger projects based on my budget. I mean, how much money can I get? How much money am I allowed to have for this next year? I present my ideas to the board of directors and I say, look, this is what I want to do this next year. And they say yay or nay. I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
I'm kind of wondering how a lot of people are working the whole Windows, 10 to 11 update and, maybe not being able to update, how are they kind of putting in for, all right, we got to buy X amount of systems. We've got to buy brand new computers. We got to buy to operate. And will the bosses understand what's being talked about? Yeah.
That's the hard part is making sure that you can somehow, make it clear to the bosses that this is what needs to be done. This is what we want to do. This is what needs to be done versus what wants to be done.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. And, and that kind of like recently that's where I've been using AI is, I'll go to Grok, which is from, XAI. And I'll be like, hey, look, I want to present this, idea to the bosses. And I'll describe, I'll be like, this is what I want to do. And I'll say it in like geek terms. I'll be like, well, I want to upgrade the Ethernet on this and blah, blah, blah. I'll just use all these, tech terms. And I say, dumb it down for me. And not in a disrespectful way, but dumb it down to the point where somebody who's non-technical can understand the implications of allowing this project to move forward versus not. And it'll write me a very nice presentation almost instantly.
I've always thought Grok, and now this is where we talked about Grok a couple of weeks ago. I always thought it was really like just on X, that you would just use it on X. You actually can use it for creating documents and doing other things as well.
It's its own website. I mean, it's you don't have to use it within X. You can subscribe to Grok without having to subscribe to X. But here's the thing, little secret. If you subscribe to X with the, I don't know what they call it, X Plus with the blue badge, it's like $8 a month. You get access to Grok.
Full access for
full access. Oh, but if you subscribe to Grok on its own, it's $20 a month.
Yeah, right.
So you kind of like, okay, fine. I'll get the blue check mark on Twitter or whatever, X. I'll get the blue check mark and then I get access to Grok. Now, what we've done recently though, is I was able to convince my boss to say, look, we use Grok a lot. I use Grok a lot. And I know that other people do. Let me sign up for a super Grok account. and
Mm.
that is $300 a year.
Oh, wow. All right.
And you get access to the top of the line models that they have offered. And I basically what I did was I paid the $300 and I use it for work. But I've given my login information to various people throughout our company to say, hey, look, if you need help with writing a job description
Hmm.
or a press release or whatever you might want it, a sales pitch, whatever. Here's my credentials. Log in, and you can use Grok, Super Grok, to help you write it. And so far, a lot of people have actually been using it for that purpose, and it's great. We love it.
I've been having a lot of fun with still ChatGPT. And I know you use ChatGPT for a little bit. Do you find Grok to be a little more powerful than ChatGPT?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Grok is the smartest one I've ever used. Now, I haven't used the latest model of ChatGPT because, again, I'm not going to subscribe. I'm not going to pay the $30 a month or whatever it is for their latest model. But I can tell you that when I used ChatGPT, there was always a knowledge base cutoff where it
Mhm.
would say, well, I don't know what's happening now because my knowledge cutoff is September of 2022. No,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Grok is like, screw it, man, let's do it. And they'll go and they'll show you like real-time scores. Like I can be like, what's the score of the Colorado Dallas game right now? That's actually playing as we're recording this show, and it will tell me what the score is.
That's pretty amazing. That is good. Because yeah, that has been one thing that slowed people down, that you really didn't have the most up-to-date research maybe with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
If Grok is able to give
What
that to you real time, that's pretty good.
One of the cool features that I really like about Grok is the think mode.
All
And
right.
what this allows it to do is Grok will actually talk to itself and it will think its way through your question. So let's say I'm like, oh, write me some code, some Python code about how to build a bot that can, I don't know, go and like Tech Talk Radio on YouTube a bunch of
Right.
times, right?
Right.
So it'll be like, okay, so the person wants to create a code. Let me think about this. Now the code has to be Python, but the Python code has to be this. And then, okay, well, YouTube algorithm says this. Okay, well, YouTube's algorithm says wants to do this. So we have to determine where does the mouse placement happen? And when the mouse placement happen this, okay, so then we have to say we have to like it. And then we have to go, okay, now you have to wait 5 seconds. And then and it literally will think to itself. And then it will go, okay, here's your code, boom, and it will spit it out.
Now, does it do like with ChatGPT? I've been having fun with this, creating graphics for another show that I produced, and it started creating a graphic, and it gave me the same character, which
Yeah.
was kind of cool. Does Grok do that same type of thing?
I haven't tried making images with Grok. I
Right.
have been on that whole bandwagon with ChatGPT where we do the Studio Ghibli type of
Oh yeah,
pictures
yeah,
where
that
you
was
convert
cool.
a yeah, those are really cool. But I don't know, but like well, let me try something real quick. I'm on Grok right now. So watch
Okay.
this. Tell me everything you know about Andy Taylor of Tucson,
Oh, great,
Arizona. Okay, that's all I'm going to
great.
say.
All
Okay.
right,
All right, here we go. Searching,
I'm not going to come up.
thinking. There are multiple individuals named Andy Taylor associated with Tucson based on available information. Okay, Andy Taylor, radio broadcaster and technology correspondent. Andy Taylor is a well-known radio personality and technology expert in Tucson, Arizona, with over 30 years of experience in broadcasting. Here is a comprehensive overview of his profile. And it
Wow,
goes into your professional background. It was the Barry and Andy morning show in Palm
really?
Springs. Talks about Tucson's KNST AM 790. Talks
Right?
about since 1996, Taylor has produced and hosted Tech Talk Radio. He also writes various technology columns for various publications.
Right?
Early career began at age 10.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, my parents, they made me work at their little radio station.
Recording
It's
tapes and
terrible.
listening to AM radio stations, holding various jobs. He worked as a nightclub DJ at a bowling alley.
Yes, that was my first gig.
Personal details. Taylor is associated with an address of blah, blah, blah.
Are you kidding me?
It gives your actual address.
Oh,
That's
that's
publicly available on so many websites.
And it
Come on.
says your home is worth blah, blah, blah with blah, blah square feet, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Contact information. Here's your phone number.
crazy. Is my phone number on there?
And it says your interests enjoy spending time with family, exploring technology news, and browsing adult websites.
No,
Wait,
it does
what?
not.
It does now.
No.
Great.
No. No, but it does.
Wow.
It really does mention a lot of information about you.
Yeah. That is really that is really crazy. And that's public information that's
That's
available on the web
public
right now.
information. And it just
Yeah.
pulled up like 17 different people named Andy Taylor. And actually, a lot of them are you, just various versions of you.
Just that's a trip. Yeah. From all
Yeah.
the different many profiles that have
And
been
there's one
created.
here that actually talks about all your previous addresses.
That is crazy. All the way back to California and
Yep.
everything. That's just nuts. To talk about working at Disneyland.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
I
that,
don't
but
know about
yeah,
that
but
one.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's pretty funny. This is the
Wow.
kind of information you can pull just from a very quick 5-second search on Grok.
I've always told people at some point you need to Google yourself. Find out what information is out there about yourself. That can actually help protect you in case somebody's trying to, do a phishing ploy on you, so you know what info is out there. And, that is important. And I
What
mean, I get the
what
phone calls, let's refinance your mortgage, that kind of thing.
what is the city you live in? South Bend?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, there you go. Let's see what it says about Sean.
Okay.
Granger, technically.
Oh yeah, Granger.
Oh, okay. Well, Sean DeWeerd is a broadcast engineer and professional based in South Bend, Indiana.
Wow.
Current role is employed as a broadcast engineer at University of Notre Dame.
Right.
Tech Talk Radio since 2019. He's been a co-host of Tech Talk Radio.
Look at that.
Um, I mean, in March of 2025, Sean directed the first 4 games of ESPN during March Madness.
Wow.
What?
He attended NAB in 2025 in Las Vegas.
I did
Wow,
not.
that
I
is
I
recent.
worked on the first 5 games of the
You
end. I did
graduated
not.
from
I did not
Ferris
direct
State
them.
University.
You're a
Yeah.
director now, Sean.
Oh,
Personal. He lives in Granger, Indiana,
yeah.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
including photography, video production, building computers, flying RC planes and drones, and playing video games. He's an avid Dungeons and Dragons player.
Well,
Wow.
that's
Nailed it.
basically a rip off the blog from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but seriously, this is what it just finds, and it found all of your channels: Vimeo, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I mean,
Half of those don't exist
it
anymore.
found your wife, your doctor, Doctor DeWeerd.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Oh my God,
That
is there a Miriam DeWeerd Beeson?
who's that?
Do you know a
What?
Miriam M. DeWeerd Beeson, class of 1943 from Ball State? Oh, it says likely unrelated. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So people need to Google themselves so they know
Not even Google. Go to Grok.
Yeah.
Grok is pulling up. That's what it is. It's everything combined. It's every single website combined, and you don't have to go through all the BS of searching through ads and stuff. It's
Right,
just going to
right.
present you with the data right there.
So and it's $8 a month for the full access. Can you trial the Grok so you
I'm
can?
not sure.
Oh, I
I
wonder if they have
I
a
don't think
trial.
so. I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
I think you can just, yeah, if you just sign up for like 1 month of X premium or whatever, not
Right.
premium, plus, and then yeah, go to grok.com.
Wow. I know that Facebook has been trying lately to really get people to pay the money to get the check mark. They've been doing that too, get the meta mark. And it's just like I just never found the need to do that. But again, I just kind of wonder if now Blue Sky doesn't have do they know they have a check mark now as well, that they're doing some kind of system.
I never actually used Blue Sky.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm connected with a
Ooh,
few people there.
this
What?
is interesting. I search myself.
Yeah, all right. What did
And
it come up with?
well, it says I'm a broadcast engineer, IT professional, and co-host of Tech Talk Radio.
Oh, there you go.
So based in Denver, Colorado, but it says my current role is a broadcast engineer and IT professional for a broadcast media group in Denver. Because I never updated my other socials
Oh,
that I don't work for them
because you
anymore.
used
But
to work for that Tribune.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it says co-producer and show host for Tech Talk Radio, and then it talks about history. I left Tech Talk Radio in October of 2003 to serve in the U.S. Navy
Right.
because it's pulling that from our blog.
Wow.
Notable projects. I've worked on media projects for Waterworld, recording
Big.
messages for attendees. How does it know that?
How does it pick that up? Does it listen to
We've
the
talked.
shows?
We definitely have talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
And it says he also expressed excitement about the reopening of Casa Bonita.
That was
We've
one of
definitely
our
talked about that
shows.
on the show.
That was one of our shows. I remember that.
Voiceover work. Justin has experience in voiceover acting,
Oh,
referencing a YouTube video, Five Guys in a Limo, which showcases top voiceover actors.
See, that was recent.
That
That
was
was
recent.
seriously,
Yeah.
that's like within the last month.
I was past roles, government contractor, BMW car salesman, and AOL call center.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
I did all of those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Oh my
that's
God.
hilarious. Now, does it mention Misa or does it mention anything else?
No, it doesn't
No.
mention that. It mentions that I was in the Navy. Actually, hold on. It says family, a son named Eric, for whom he
Wow.
purchased an Acer Predator gaming laptop.
Three
Which we
weeks
just talked
ago.
about.
He
Yeah, we just talked
installed
about that on the show.
Custodio parental control software to monitor Eric's online activity. Did you put this on the blog?
Yeah, it's up. It's up there. We
Oh,
talked about we talked about that on the show.
okay. Well, I know we talked about it on the show, but I didn't know if you actually like put it on the blog in text
I
format or
may.
if it.
I think I did. Yeah, because it mentions Custodio. Is it just just
He
with the
expressed
name?
interest in visiting Super Mario World in Japan and discussed travel logistics, including flying during the pandemic and first class experiences. What?
You know what we got to do? We got to do this in Sahuarita, one of the fairs that we do, whether it be your Fiesta Sahuarita, set up and do searches for people and find out what we know about them. That
Oh
would
my
be
God. Dude, seriously, like, can you imagine this? Like, you meet somebody at a coffee shop or a nightclub or
yeah,
whatever, and you're like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? That's all you got to ask them. And
yeah.
then, bam, you turn to Grok and you start typing in, tell me what you know about this person from this area. And it's going to be like, boom, here you go. And then you can be like, oh, weren't you the one that was in that play at the local theater, or whatever?
Yeah,
And they'll be
yeah.
like, how did you know that? And be like, oh, I just know things. It's what I do.
Well,
I drink and I know things.
think about it. This can be a tool for, and again, this is why people need to be, you have your guard up. This could be a tool for fishers. People want to
Absolutely.
fish you
Oh
because,
yeah.
like,
That's what I'm leading towards this. Yeah.
I started playing Words with Friends again, and just I got bored with the Toon Blast I've been playing, and I'm like a level 6,000 or something, and I've been having fun.
You
Seriously,
spend way too much time playing that.
way too much time. So I was having fun. So I got into Words, and it's been maybe about a year and a half since I played. And of course, you get the people that come in, and then they want to send you a chat. And I get this one, hi, hey, where are you from? And I said, my mama. And then they're like, oh, what do you do? Or what's your name? Because with that information, they can find out more about you and again, lead to more phishing.
This goes back to those famous like Facebook, Instagram pipe posts where it's like this fake radio station that'll post like a post on their social media. It'll say, I bet you don't remember what street you grew up on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like people are like, "Oh yeah, I grew up on Boulevard Lane or whatever." And it's like, don't give that information away.
No,
First off, that's not even a real radio station.
no.
And second off, what you're doing is you're just literally giving people your personal information. And then the next question is going to be, "Oh, I bet you can't remember the last four
what
of
was
your
the first car you
social."
drove?
Yeah, what's the first car you drove? What's your parents' maiden names? What's your last four of your social security number? I bet you can't tell me.
How about this one? Do you remember your first phone number? Believe it or not, that can lead to a name search that shows up properties. It's pretty amazing when somebody does a search like that. It can actually show where you've lived in the past. Just recently, I found a letter that was written in 2001 to me here when I was in Tucson doing radio at another station, and it was just somebody being very nice and all that. And I thought, wow. And I go to look it up, and that person's no longer with us. He passed away. That person was like 65 when they sent that, but it showed me all the addresses they lived at, the phone numbers they used to have when they moved. All that information is out there, so you've got to be really careful. We
Yeah.
got our scam squad trying to remind people out here, don't do this, don't do that. If somebody comes up and they seem like your best friend online, even if they are your friend, you don't have to give out any information. Joke
Absolutely.
around with them if you have to, or just don't even connect with them.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because we were gonna probably, migrate into this topic anyway, but I recently have been playing a lot more of a game called Sea of Thieves on
Oh yeah,
Xbox.
you used to play that
And
before.
it's been out since 2018 and I've been playing it, but I needed somebody to play it with. So they have their official Discord channel where you can just jump into a random uh voice chat
Right.
and then you can gather up players. And this guy just randomly joined me and he was like, "Hey, you want to play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I added him as a friend on Xbox. And we started playing. And then I was like, "Oh, hey, your name's David." And he's like, "Wait, how do you know that?" I'm like, "Well, it actually says it right on there. Like your name, your real name is next to your gamer tag."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't think I should be telling you that." I'm like, well, "Okay, first off, calm down. All right. I'm not a scammer. Okay. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you what I see. It's right there on the gamer tag." And he's like, "Well, I'm only 15 years old." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay, I get it. I understand. Don't worry about like I'm not
yeah.
here to mess with you or whatever." And actually we become friends. Like this kid, 15 years old, he lives somewhere in Canada. Um he's a kind of like a friend of mine now. We play Sea of Thieves all the time.
Right.
But it's just even that simple bit of information. Like when he created his Xbox gamer tag, he left the option checked to show real name.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, I can't change it now because my sister owns the Xbox account and I can't get in and do it. I was like, "Well, just talk to your sister." He's like, "I don't talk to my sister anymore." And I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be a problem."
And that could
Um,
take away his being able to play Sea of Thieves.
exactly. So yeah, he's like, "Yeah, well, now you know my real name." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna go tell nobody about it." But it goes back to your thing. It's like even as something as simple as playing a video game with somebody, people are gonna know what your gamer tag is, and then they're gonna figure out they can connect the dots.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, when we had Tanya Jordan on, she was on the show a few weeks back and then featured in a Fox 11 segment as well. She mentioned the one of the most dangerous is Snapchat. And she
Mm.
talked about the location thing on that. Well, wouldn't you know, somebody had posted something on Snap, and I'm on Snap, and I gave it a like, right? And then that person sees that, oh, somebody liked it, right? And they sent me a note, a message saying, "Do I know you?" And I said, "No, I just liked your image." And I said, "I'm in Tucson. I'm a techie," and just left it like that. She was in Tucson as well. That I do know, right? Well, then I went, "Who is this person?" I went to go look, and she had a location turned on. Here's the thing: you have kids, you're on it yourself, turn off your location, because what
Yep.
it does is it tells everybody where you live, where when you're home, when you're not home, and when you're at work. And when I saw it, I saw that her location was turned on, mine's turned off, but her location was turned on, and it was showing exactly where she was. She was at work
Yep.
and exactly at where she worked. And I'm thinking, if I was a weirdo, if I was a stalker, I could show up at her work. And that's
Yep.
that's the whole thing. So I said, "Listen, I am the tech guy for Fox 11 out here. I would recommend on your Snapchat, since you're fairly new." She had only had about 300 messages that had gone in and out. I said, "I would go ahead and turn off your location services. If you go in your settings, turn it off. Otherwise, people are going to know exactly where you're at, where you're working at." So I don't know if she did. I don't know if she ever did, because haven't seen her post in quite a while. But that could be real
She
dangerous.
probably just blocked you. He's like, "Creeper." I
Andy
mean,
the Creeper.
I mean,
That's
honestly, that's probably what she's probably a young person doesn't
trying to
realize
keep
what
you
she's
safe.
doing, and she's like, "Oh
Right.
my God, this creepy old guy is telling me that he knows where I'm at.
Wait,
I'm gonna
wait,
block him."
wait. Where did you get creepy old guy? This lady was in her 30s. Where do you get creepy old guy from?
I
Thanks a
mean,
lot, buddy.
I'm just saying. I mean, anybody that's older, look, I get the creepy old guy. Okay, I work with a bunch of like 16 and 18-year-olds. Okay,
Right.
I'm the creepy old guy.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what's funny. I used to catch flack for this from my last morning show co-host. When somebody would call in, and I'm not a creeper, but they would call, and she called me a creeper because of this. They would call in and they would tell us her name to participate in a contest or add something to the show. What would I do? Fire up Facebook and do a search to find that person. And Dakota ended up saying, "You know what? That is really creepy. You got to stop doing that." And I go, "No, I want them to follow us. I want them to follow the show." She said, "No, you're just looking for yourself." I go, "No, I'm not." Yeah. I just thought,
But I
yeah,
mean, this goes
creeper.
to show how easy it is to pull people's information from
Absolutely.
social
Hmm.
media or just the internet itself.
Yeah. And again, somebody could say, "Oh, I knew your dad." And then you know your
Yeah.
dad's name or your mom, know
Oh
your
yeah.
mom's name. So you got to be
There was
really, really
there
careful.
was this one time, and I'll be honest with you. This is one time. This is a long, long time ago. I was playing a game. I can't remember what game it was. I think it was
Right.
Rust. Rust. And I was playing with this dude, random dude I met within Rust, and we became really good friends. Like we were playing all the time, all the time. And then one night we were just sitting around, we were drinking a couple beers together, and then he's like, where you live? And I'm like, oh, it was, I live in Denver or whatever. Maybe it was San Diego at the time. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then I was like, where do you live? And he's like, oh, you never heard of it. It's up in it's Kalamath, I think, maybe whatever, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah. And so immediately I'm like Googling maps, his city. Just because I
Very-
just wanted to see how far I could get with it. Like I wasn't
Right.
trying to do nothing nefarious. I just wanted to see how far. And I
Exactly.
was like, oh yeah, I know that city. And he's like, well, what do you know about it? And I just randomly picked out like, oh, mom and pop's sandwich shop on the corner of 3rd and 7th.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I used to go there all the time. And he's like, wait, what? You used to go here? I'm like, yeah, bro. And I would go to their website and I would look at the menu and I'd be like, oh, I used to order the ham and cheese. The ham and cheese is so good. And he was like totally buying it. And he was like,
Right.
oh yeah, I live off of like, 15th and
Oh man,
whatever.
no.
And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Wait, 50th. And like as I'm saying this, I'm pretending I'm thinking and I'm searching for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like a 15th and whatever street. Like I'm not even giving away information here. I'm just like totally randomly saying stuff. I'm like, oh, 15th in Maine. Oh yeah. Oh wait, hold up. Are wait, are you like the third house on the left, the white one? Because I'm looking at Street View. And he's like,
Oh, look at that.
no, I'm the green one next door. I'm like, wait, hold up. Dude, my friend lived like down the street from you. And he's like, wait, what's your friend's name? And I quickly like search a friend, like people like, and the guy was buying it left and I'm like, Jesus, this is how easy it is to become a scammer.
Yeah.
It's
It
like,
really is.
wow.
It's all about information.
Yeah, this
John's
was
having a
so
great
easy.
laugh over there.
Well, it's just I'm just listening. It's a good time. It's like it's like the confidence walk, right? When I worked in news, and you could get anywhere just by looking like you belonged
Yeah.
So
and
true.
acting like you knew what was going on. Same thing. It's social engineering. Like they're like, oh, he knows what's going on. I'm not gonna bother him. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, you know all this stuff about me. It must be legit.
Well,
Yeah.
that's been one of
Not
the ways
like I could just spend 2 seconds and search for it on the internet.
Yeah.
that's been one of the ways that people have been able to break networks and be able to get in to a company. They want to get
Well,
into
Kevin
the
Mitnick.
internal network. Yeah, Mitnick, talked about that, walking in and acting like you know what you're doing. And some people will just be, oh yeah, come on in. And you're in. You can find an office that's empty. I mean, if Spielberg could set up an office at Universal Studios and with a nameplate and everything, and that was back in what, the 70s. Imagine now somebody just walks in, sets up an office, plugs into the network, and they can right away place a Trojan horse, get all kinds of information off of it. That is one way that people will use to break into a system is what is that, social engineering.
Yeah, social engineering. That's still the best way to do it. Is
Yeah.
honestly is just being social engineering. And honestly, last year, when we had some summer interns that worked for us, one
Yeah.
of the things I did with the summer intern is the guy that nobody knew who he was. I gave him a fake Verizon vest and a fake Verizon badge
Yep.
and a helmet, and a briefcase with some fake work orders. And I told him, I said, I want you to visit every one of our properties, our golf course, our mini golf course, our ice center, our fitness center, our sports center. I want you to walk in there and I want you to tell them that you're here to install an internet circuit.
Right.
And I want you to show them the fake work order. And I want you to let me know if they give you access to the IT room. And
And
every single property except for one succeeded in saying, get out of here.
wow, amazing. All right, listen, we got to take a break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. Kudos to one of our members of the show. We haven't talked to her for a while, but we'll tell you about that. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn, about to go install Verizon Internet at one of Justin's properties.
And I'm Justin Lemmy, the old guy on Tech Talk Radio. You can find us on the web, techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back. So before the break, we were talking about that I've been kind of like playing this game again. And I'm kind of the gamer geek. And Shawn, you're also a gamer geek.
See
The game, it's
Yeah.
called Sea of Thieves. And it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's also actually on PlayStation as well, and it just got released on Battle.net. In case you don't have Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation, you can get it on Battle.net, which is Blizzard's. But it's basically a game where you get to become a pirate, and
Okay.
and the graphics are very cartoonish, I guess you could say, but the gameplay is definitely not. The gameplay is very much Well, I mean, anybody can really play. I think I don't know, Sean. What's the rating? E for everyone, or is it mature? I don't remember, but
I mean, it's no gore.
yeah,
I
there's no
mean,
gore, but
you're a
there's
pirate and you can blow
yeah.
up ships and you can kill pirates and stuff, but there's no gore.
Yeah, but it
So,
is a multiplayer game and it requires an internet connection, and so therefore you are playing against real people, and those people can get a little vocal, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wow.
But don't
Yeah,
let that distract you.
I want to reiterate something. Sean, you said blow up ships, correct?
oh yeah, you can
Okay.
blow up ships.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, ships with a P, yes.
ships with a P. Just had to
Yeah,
make sure.
yeah, not with a T. Anyway, but yes, so you can do that. But what's fun about the game is exactly that. You can do whatever you want in the game. If you want to just run commodities, like take rare gemstones from one port to another, you can do that. If you want to go and dig up gold treasure using maps, like pirate maps, where the
But
X marks
there are
the
people.
spot.
So let's say you go do those bounties where you're like, I want to ship these treasures from point A to point B. There are people that get quests to capture
Intercept.
Yeah.
your
Inter
gems from point A
yes.
to point B. So it's like you're
Yeah.
definitely playing. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have,
But
do you have to have a killer machine to play this?
you have to have a decent gaming rig, I guess. I mean, I can play it on the Steam Deck, but it definitely is. Yeah, you can't have just like a basic computer with integrated graphics. You need a dedicated graphics card, but you definitely don't need a top of the line rig. I mean, the game was released back in 2018, so we're approaching what 7 years on it. But it is an amazing game. It's so much fun. It's going into its 16th season, starting here in about 3 weeks, I think. Um, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's called Sea of Thieves, and it's just
I,
a pirate game.
you've been getting back into this because you've been watching somebody actually playing the game, which kind of changes the whole experience, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there's a guy that I've been watching a lot on Twitch. He goes by Hitbo TC, and
Right.
I'm trying to get him on the show. I'm
All
telling
right.
because he was talking about one of his streams. He's like, "Yeah, I want to get famous someday," and I was like, "Hey, why don't you come on Tech Talk Radio? We'll make you famous overnight." Like, cause
Oh, please.
we're big time. We're big time. Um, and he was like, "Oh, you don't want to interview me?" I was like, "No, actually, I kind of do because remember back in the day, we interviewed Raya Stream, we interviewed Darkness 429, these other streamers, and I kind of think like, okay, a lot has changed since we talked about with those guys, and I
Right.
kind of want to understand how has things changed for you, since the pandemic. Like, how do you maintain your audience? How do you maintain your livelihood? Because this is what he does. I mean, he's a father of four. I don't know what his wife does, but he
Right.
plays video games for a living, and he
Yeah.
makes pretty decent money at it, I think.
I kind of wonder, now that we're pretty much, I'm not going to say it's over because I know somebody who just got about of COVID, but now that the pandemic is pretty much done, how has that affected online gaming and people watching some of the online gaming streams? Has that gone down?
I think a little bit. I mean, in a way, I mean, I've seen other streamers come and go, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I see all these new streamers popping up left and right. I mean, these guys are, guys that are, on Twitch, and Twitch is really hard. Twitch is like going into the wild, wild west, man. I mean, you're inundated with streamers that are, 1,000 different streamers playing the same game as you are. How are you going to get featured
Right.
amongst these thousands of people? But I actually tune into the guys that have, 10 people watching, 15 people watching, maybe
Right.
5 people watching. That's who I tune into. I don't necessarily tune into the ones that are having thousands of people watching them because first off, you're never going to get a chance to talk to them because their chat is moving so fast because they're having so many people comment.
True.
And honestly, at that point, you're kind of gone into automatic mode where you're just playing the game, making money. It's the people that are having the less than, let's say, sub 500 watching are the
Right.
ones that are actually going to pay attention to you as a viewer and say, "Hey, Andy, how you doing today, man? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for the $2, Sean. I really appreciate it." You know,
That's cool.
you watch guys like Dr. Disrespect. He ain't gonna call your name unless you donate at least $1,000
Or Ninja. Yeah.
or Ninja. Yeah,
Those
you
are-
have to donate $1,000 for them to get you to call your name out.
Well, yeah, because but their viewer count is incredible. I mean,
Yeah, I know, sure it is, but I
now have
don't.
you? I'm just wondering, have you ever streamed and had a game
Mm,
on while you were streaming? Did you ever? Because I tried it with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it was like it was not good because my
okay.
graphics just started dying.
Well, first off, you picked you picked the most boring game in the world to stream. Okay. Yeah. No, I did. I tried a couple of various games. I don't know, man. It was right back in the beginning of the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
And I maybe had like two, three people
Mhm.
watching, and like two of those were my wife and my mom. So, and the third was probably a bot, trying to
Right.
like get my information. Like, oh, hey, I'm from the Philippines and I really like I want to get to know you. I'm like, yeah, whatever, get out of
Yeah.
here.
There you go.
So yeah, I would say I don't think I've ever had a actual real viewer that I
Sean, have you?
don't know.
I think 5 is the max I've had.
Five, yeah, yeah.
Oh, now what
I mean,
were you doing? Dungeons and Dragons?
so
Big time.
I streamed a while back. Like if I look back, I probably started streaming in 2011,
Oh
Oh wow,
wow.
that long?
2012. Yeah, but I
Before
would
streaming was
stream.
even
I
a
would.
thing.
Yeah, but so I would stream on UStream
Oh yeah.
Oh.
or Justin TV, which
We were
became
on
Which
we
became
were
Twitch.
on both of
Twitch.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, what was
so
Ustream? What did Ustream? What happened to Ustream?
I don't
Brad,
know.
Brad,
I'd have to look at
I'll
it.
tell you. I'll tell you. Brad Hunstable, who started UStream, ended up selling it to IBM, and IBM took it and basically it just shuttered it. It just ended.
Oh,
But UStream
okay.
was great. We used to be on UStream, and we had so many. We still have listeners that listen to the show that used to watch us on UStream. But we were streaming from my garage in the old
What
house.
So my
what were you
first
playing?
I if I went back to look at what my first stream was, it was when I was working for my first job out of college. So this would have been May 2008.
Hmm.
We started testing, trying to stream I worked for a company that did a lot of the ARCA Remax stock car series. Now it's part of NASCAR. We would stream a single camera to the web. Single camera.
Wow.
I'd be up on the press box just following the lead, and we would stream it to the web and use the radio audio as our audio.
Wow, that's so
Wow.
cool. We would just do tech talk. We would do the show. Slick was in on it. You were still in the Navy, and that's how we were using it.
Well,
So
what games were you playing, Sean?
Oh, it would be World of Warcraft,
Oh, okay, yeah.
StarCraft. I did some StarCraft stuff. Um, when I got into really early in access into Heroes of the Storm, which is another Blizzard game, I played a lot of that. I streamed a ton of Overwatch when it was first out.
Mhm.
Um, and then it's just kind of whatever I was playing, I would stream.
did
And
you
then
play?
I
Did you
streamed.
play
I probably
simulator?
streamed. I did a little bit of Flight Sim. Yeah, I did a little bit of Flight Sim.
Yeah.
If you go to my YouTube page, you could. It was all streamed to my YouTube page. I used restreamed and streamed to my Twitch, YouTube, Facebook when I had it.
It's
Twitter
funny.
when I had it.
I have your YouTube page right here from Grok.
Yeah,
Right.
of course you do. But if you go to my live pages, you can go back and watch all of my Dungeons and Dragons live streams.
Oh wow.
Because Twitch, after inactivity for a while, it only archived so many, and they don't tell you, and then you go back and you're like, I want to look at my clips from 3 years ago, and they're like, gone.
I'm sorry. I have to say the number one video that it popped up on your page, the weird sizzle reel. What the
Hey,
heck
what the
does
heck
that
is that?
mean?
Yeah.
It's so a sizzle reel, and Andy, you can link it's a
Yeah,
sizzle
I know
reel
the-
in the industry is just like your hot clips, like it's like a collection of your hot clips from
Whoa.
the most recent.
This is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like a demo reel, but it's just called
Yeah.
a sizzle reel instead of a full demo reel. It's only a
Okay.
couple minutes.
Well, the thumbnail doesn't do it justice because it's like you in a flight suit in a cockpit of an airplane or something like that.
That's
I'm
not
like,
me.
yeah,
That's-
well, I
which-
don't
sure,
know that.
Could be.
Yeah.
No, we did some stuff that thumbnail specifically is from the Thunderbirds came and flew at the field of flight in Kalamazoo or in Battle Creek, and we did a story with them, and they took one of our reporters
Do
up in
you
the
have
plane.
your
and-
famous video on here too, though?
Yeah. Your video has to be
It,
on there.
probably not because it kept getting taken down because I didn't own the rights to it, and because it was popular.
Oh
But
wow.
it's not in my sizzle reel, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Right. Yeah, that makes
dude.
sense. It does. Oh, that's so cool. All right, listen, we gotta take a break, but we gotta do a shout out to Amanda. Amanda from Tech Talk Radio, one of our hosts. It's been a while she's been on because she has been embedded in education. She's been named one of the top 30 IT K through 12 influencers to follow for this
Whoa.
year. Pretty cool stuff. And the write up that she was given in EdTech magazine was an instructional coach at Fontana Unified School District in California. Amanda is a advocate for game-based learning. She also helped establish the esports team at her district and is always looking for ways to promote impactful curriculum, equitable opportunities, and student voices. She's also a part-time co-host on the Tech Talk radio show. So one influencer. So big applause.
Woohoo!
And
Good job, Amanda.
I talked to her and I said, you got to come back on the show. She said she wants to. So we're thinking maybe June she'll stop in and do a show with us because
That'd be great.
it has been a while. But yeah, very, very cool. And she's been one of those that was watching us on Ustream way back when. And then we just connected with her and, she ended up doing a show with us. So that's very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
Love to
we'll
have her
take another
back
break.
on.
We will be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn installing internet in Justin's locations.
And I'm Justin, the old guy. Find us on Facebooks, the facebooks.com/tech talkers. We'll be right
Find
back.
us on MySpace.
Yeah,
Oh,
MySpace.
Yes.
Find us on 4chan.
All right, we have a listener question from Dave Tucson. Wait, I think that's Dave in Tucson.
David Tucson.
Dave
Andy,
in Tucson. Yeah.
Grammar is important, Andy. You should start putting
Yes,
commas
yes,
in
yes.
here so I know that it's.
Not
I think I
Bruce
did it last week.
There we
Chandler.
go.
with Bruce
Yes,
and
Dave
Chandler.
in Tucson. Yeah,
Dave
there we
in
go.
Tucson. So this question from Dave is listener question. I have been wanting to record video files off my over-the-air TV.
Ooh.
I know with the TiVo, this is possible. A TiVo that's pretty old. At least it used to be where I could download the clip. I don't want to have to get the cable. Is there a solution that can allow me to record over the air without this cable? So we talked about this question during the break because we were going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I suggested something like WinTV.
Oh my
If,
God.
if
That's
anybody
so
remembers what
bad.
that is, that was a old
Sean, your age
PCI
is
card.
showing. Your age is showing.
I had one growing up.
Yeah.
And we recorded clips off the TV. It was basically a PCI. Well, it was even PCI Express at that point. I don't even remember what it was.
AGP.
But it was basically was an analog antenna tuner that you could plug into your computer and you could record using a media player or something.
Some of the
and
all right,
just-
some of the companies, Hapag made one, and I also had I remember this one, the ATI All-in-Wonder, which had a
yep.
TV tuner on it. Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there were several PCI Express cards. They still make some. But Justin then said HD Home Run.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is the product you want to get. It is you plug it into the tuner.
All right.
The
Plug in
antenna.
network. Yeah, into the antenna. Yeah, it's a digital tuner. You plug it into the antenna. You plug it into your computer network with the Cat5 cable or Cat6, whatever. And you can then navigate to it on your computer and record.
So to expand upon that, the little HD Home Run is a very tiny little box. I mean, it's probably the size of your hand.
Okay.
You're going to plug in your over-the-air antenna tuner into it. Now, when you plug this device into your network, like just plug it into your router, your switch, whatever, you're going to have to find out. There's instructions on it. It'll tell you the instructions, but you basically have to figure out what the IP address that it pulls from your network. Let's say 192.168.0.15. Okay, whatever. You're going to navigate to that website, 192.168.0.15. It's going to bring you to the HD Home Run page. You're going to set it up. You're going to tell it what area code you live in. Not area code, zip code. What zip code you live in. It's going to download the data for all the channels with the names and the guide.
The program guide. Do you have to pay for the program
Nope.
guide?
Well, some of them you do. I
Yeah.
don't know how it works recently. I haven't used it in a couple of years. I know there are some paid program guides. I think the HD Home Run will download the channel data, not the programming data. I think you do have to pay a very small monthly fee if you want the programming data. But then what you do is you get a program on your computer like VLC Media Player, which is free.
Right.
And within VLC Media Player, you go to File, Open Network Stream, and you're going to type in the IP address of your HD Home Run. And you hit enter, and it's going to pull up all the channels. And you
But they
just
actually
click
have
on-
their own. They actually have their own application now too.
Oh, good,
They
good.
do?
Okay.
Okay.
So then, yeah,
and
you just tune to the
it
channel.
has support for Plex, MB, Jellyfin.
Yep.
So you can just tie it into those like just your normal streaming apps. It has an app for TVs. So if you have it, it's on your network. You can probably see it. You can stream to your computer, your iPad, your phone, your computer, etc. Um, they have 3 different versions: Home Run Flex Duo, which allows you to have 2 separate tuners going at the same time. The Flex Quattro, 4 streams, and then the Home Run Flex HD or
Yeah, how much is
4K.
that one? Yeah.
$200, but it gives you 4 tuners, but it allows you to decode ATSC 3.0.
Ooh, that's a big
So,
thing.
All
so
right.
that's the big one. So you can get newer stations that are running ATSC 3.0 instead of getting their other channels that are only ATSC 2.0 or 1.0, et cetera, et cetera.
Now the company that makes it is called
Yep.
silicondust.com. I guess you can find it on the website there if you want to buy it. But yeah, there's a little investment, but that's what we paid for
It's a heck of a lot cheaper
high-end.
than a TiVo.
Yeah, it is. And then you pay TiVo. I think you pay a monthly with TiVo, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay that with this unless you want the electronic programming guide. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea. That'd be a way to, if you don't want to, if you want to cut cable, I was so close to cutting cable, and I ended up I called them up to say, hey, listen, I'm really, I'm not liking the bill. It was going to go up again. And I'm already at 270, right? And I thought that's just
good
too much.
lord,
Yeah. So I told her,
it's all those adult channels you're getting, man.
yeah, right. I'm paying for this. It's of what? TLC?
Hallmark,
Hallmark.
Hallmark Plus.
So I'm paying for this thing called Blast, and I'm like, and I was told a couple of years ago that that wasn't even needed anymore because I'm already getting the higher speeds. But it was me following through. It's my own fault. So she says to me right off the bat, "Well, I can rework this and save you about $120." She did. 120
Really?
bucks a month I'm
Wait, this
saving.
is an actual Comcast representative?
Yeah. So getting the same internet speeds,
Wait, they're actually saving you money?
saving me money. And she then said, I can do something better for you. Who is your phone service provided through? And I told her, and she said, well, we can bring you over to our mobile service, and I can give you this. This is why Xfinity is trying really hard to keep its customers, because there's been kind of an exodus recently.
Yeah.
She says, I can give you free mobile service for a year.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And considering I've been paying $90 a month, that adds up to quite a bit. Then after the year is up, I'll pay $44.
Wait, so who does Xfinity write off of though? What towers?
They write off Verizon.
Ooh,
So at
interesting.
least that's what I've been led to believe. So,
Okay.
and I thought, let's see. And I have had no problems traveling between Marana and Green Valley, being on my device in Green Valley. It's been great.
So your
So,
device shows that you're on Comcast though?
yes, it says Xfinity Mobile
Or
as
Xfinity,
my
yes.
carrier. And then I said, well, what if I want to do a second line for my business, since our Skype number is going to be going away? And she said it's $20 extra. That's it per month.
That's
I thought,
actually
wow.
not too bad. I mean, they have really been making some changes, honestly, with
Yeah.
Comcast. Because you're right, it's been an exodus. I mean, with the streaming culture, right?
Mhm.
Shawn, do you have cable?
No.
You have YouTube TV though, right?
Yeah, we share. So we piggyback off of my in-laws with YouTube TV.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I have
because
YouTube TV as well.
because they moved to Kalamazoo, we no longer have to pay extra because that's within the distance.
Now,
Because
how about
we
for
were
you?
paying more because they lived in Ludington. So basically, they're almost in the same DMA now. So
Right.
now
Okay,
we
yeah.
don't we're not getting pinged for that out of we
Out
don't
of
have to pay the
market.
extra out of
Yeah.
market or whatever.
How about the bringing the signal in, like as far as the internet? How are you getting that high speed connection?
Metronet fiber.
So it's fiber, so it's pretty good
We
delivery.
have we have Metronet fiber here, and I get gig up, gig down, and I think I
Yeah, and
pay
me too. Yeah.
not $80 a month. I think.
I've got Quantum, which is CenturyLink Lumen, and I get
Yeah.
Right.
I think mine's 75 and yeah, about $80. And then I
Right.
get gig up and down.
But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I really enjoy our internet. It's been good. And because it's fiber, it's not down when the power went out. So
Right.
all I did was just plugged in my modem, the modem in my router or in my TV into my DJI power box, and off and running we were. So Max could watch his YouTube and not be crabby about it.
All right. So now, have you guys heard about Mocha? And
The coffee.
no, it's
No.
MOCA. I have just been looking into this recently, and I've been kind of surprised. When I had my house built, the other part of Tucson, we had it built with Cat 5 throughout the home. So each room had a Cat 5 connection. And there was a head in our closet, and I had God, one of the really good firewalls, a hardware firewall. We had it was really a really well done system. But also I ran the server for Gloria's business. She did medical billing at the time, and we had to buy the software and the whole bit, and I loved it. Well, of course, we moved, and the house that I'm in did not have that, and I missed that. So I have tried doing the RJ, the phone line connection from TP Link, and that was okay. It wasn't as reliable as I had hoped for. What we have been using is a TP Link now wireless connection, which is kind of a wireless bridge to our studio. That's okay. But now I've heard about Mocha, and what it is internet over coax. Now, if you think about so many homes now
Oh,
are
now I know
doing
what you're talking about.
doing the streaming via a router in their home. A lot of homes are wired already for coax, and apparently, what it does is you have one device at one near your router, and the other device near your other room or whatever, and you can actually do internet over coax. I don't know how fast it is yet. TrendNet, Asus, there's some other companies that have these devices. I'm trying to get my hands on one of these so I could give it a test and see. But think about that. So many people have had their homes wired for coax. They're not even using the coax now. So this would be one way to expand the network throughout your home via the coax connections. And it's called MOCA, and might be something to try out. Not too expensive too, about $200, I think, or
Yeah,
150 bucks.
119 bucks, and they're saying it can do 2.5 gig.
Yeah, and that's two. That's two connections. So imagine in my situation where we have a switch or we have a hub in our studio. It's all I need, being able to come off that line.
That is really cool.
I might just give it a try and see what we think about it. All right.
I was gonna say Mocha was something like that. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, I just heard about this, and when I did, it was kind of like, "Whoa, wait, you could do that?" That would solve a lot of problems. Because my next solution was actually going to be to bring a contractor in and have them wire the house with Cat 6 and go that route. And
Yeah.
everybody's telling me you're nuts, just do wireless. But just my experience with wired has always just been so good. All right,
Mm.
now Justin, you have Google TV, so I
I
wanted
do.
to ask you about the home panel. It's something you haven't seen yet, though, right? I mean,
I personally haven't seen it. Yeah, this thing about Google's home panel where you can control your lights and thermostat and see your doorbell. I mean, I am in a Google household. Everything I have Google speakers, I have the Google Nest, I have the Google doorbell. I mean, I have the Google 4K streamer on multiple TVs. I have not seen this Google home panel. I don't know what it's about though.
there's talk about this now. So you'd be watching your Google TV, and you would be able to actually bring up the home panel, and with the home panel see what your thermostat is set for, get a doorbell ring, see what the doorbell who's at the door, or again anything else that you'd want to do, you'd be able to check that out again with the home panel. And apparently now they're saying it's rolled out and expanding to actually Chromecast devices, because now it's Google TV. Chromecast has kind of gone away, but if you have a Chromecast device, you'd be able to utilize that with the Chromecast device. So either way, it's something to look for. Justin, I think you're going to look that up and see if you can get that.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to search for it on the TV.
Right. All right. Cool. Well,
I've never seen it though. I don't know. This is interesting because I would love to be able to see who is at my door when somebody comes ring my doorbell, or change. Oh, sorry about that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have it. I don't see it. Android. I see Sirius XM, Google Play Games. I see Button
Is there
Mapper,
a
but that's
Play
homeless.
Store that maybe you have to download?
This is the Play Store on
Oh,
here.
wow.
I just don't see it. This is very
Right.
interesting.
The
I
home
don't
panel.
see it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Unless it's only for TVs that have Google
Well,
TV
this is
embedded.
well, maybe it's for the TV embedded, but this is their most expensive Google streamer. I mean, this is the 4K
Right.
Google streamer. I feel like we should have this on the most expensive thing.
All right, we'll look more into this, and maybe we'll have some more info next week. I've got a question. I know that Justin, you saw the movie Minecraft. You took
I
time to
did.
go see it. Sean, have you seen that one yet?
No, I have not. I just know there's something to do with chickens.
Chicken Jockey.
Oh yeah, what the heck is with that? They're
Oh,
destroying theaters, right?
yeah, it's kind of it's a social media thing. In the movie, there's a scene where Jack Black has to face off against a child-looking zombie who's riding a chicken, and they call him the Chicken Jockey. And
Right.
Jack Black gets his butt kicked by this chicken jockey.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, kids and even adults now, they go to a movie theater. There was even this one situation where somebody actually smuggled in a live chicken into a
Oh
theater.
no. No, no, no.
And
Oh,
when that scene came out, they released the chicken into the theater, and the chicken was flopping all around the theater. And people are throwing popcorn everywhere and just basically destroying the theater. It got to the point where Jack Black himself showed up to a Los Angeles area theater. And before the movie started, he came out with nobody knowing who it was him and
right.
was like, "It's time for the Minecraft movie." And then like he was like, "And keep in mind, no chicken jockeys. And I am Steve." That's his character name, Steve.
Oh boy.
And everybody went nuts when they saw Jack Black in the theater. But yeah, anyway, Minecraft movie actually really, really good.
All right. This new one that came out last couple weeks ago, Thunderbolts, which is anybody seen that one yet?
Nope.
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 Nope. It's part of the Marvel series, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marvel's just getting it's just getting
I haven't had time to do anything at home or anything for myself in the last month. I'm not going
Right.
to the movies.
You're not
You
gonna go to
should.
the movies.
You should just take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna go watch a movie by myself.
There you go.
I like my life.
I know, but you like your mental health too. Sometimes you
Ah.
just need that chance.
All right, we're gonna take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back. A couple weeks ago, I took Eric to the local hobby shop and we just stumbled across BattleBots.
Right.
A
Ooh,
live BattleBots happening at the hobby store, except these were miniature BattleBots.
Yeah.
However, they did have one of the actual big BattleBots from the actual show. I can't remember the name of it though, but it was one of them. Anyway, but it was there. Anyway, there's a website called botrumble.com.
Oh,
And-
what is this?
And it's a page. It's kind of I think this might be I think it's started in Denver, Colorado, but it is okay. Yeah, see, my phone is going off on it.
Page Rumble.
Yeah,
Okay.
based in Colorado, Bot Rumble is a combat robotics organization, but they're trying to spread around. However, even if botrumble.com isn't the site for you, there is a massive influx of people going and trying out these miniature battle bots. And you can buy these kits that include like the servos and the motors, and they come in two different styles. You can do combat bots, which are actually with weapons, or you can do push bots, which are just gonna kind of push you in the corner kind of thing. But these miniature bots are amazing, and kids love this kind of stuff. You can build your own robots. It gets you into like thinking about 3D printing because you're gonna print the cases for them. And then you're just going to you're just going to put all the electronics inside, and then you take them to your local hobby stores. And again, Bot Rumble is kind of something local to Colorado, but I guarantee you there's going to be plenty of these different sites around that are doing this. But kids love this kind of stuff. When I took Eric there were so many kids of his age, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And then there was the adults, 30,
Yeah.
40, whatever years old. And everybody was having such a good time. Everybody was helping each other out, diagnosing problems with the robots. It's such a cool thing, man.
All right, give us the website address once again.
Well, this one was botrumble.com, but in an
Right.
over fact, it's just like look up your local hobby store, see if they have any battle bots type of organizations in your area.
All right, I love it. That wraps up this week's Tech Talk Radio. If you have a question, drop us a line, techguys@techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin, the old guy that